Before I start the presentation, I want to state that the official language of Suriname is Dutch, and my native language is Okanisi of the Njuka Maroon tribe. So if I pronounce a word incorrect, please forgive me.
No worry.
My presentation today will be about the authority structure of the Maroons, especially that of the Njuka tribe. The following questions are central to this. What does Maroon society look like? What does the traditional authority look like? At what level is this governance system applied? What are the various limitations and challenges this authority system faces? What are the main results and lessons to be learned from this experience? At first, I will give some general information about the Maroons in Suriname. Enslaved Africans who fled the plantations in the 17th and 18th centuries settled in the jungle along the major rivers where they established new communities. These communities eventually developed into 6 tribes, which show greater or less differences in language and culture. These are the Samaka, the Njuka, the Matawai, the Quinti, the Pamaka, and the Boni or Aluku. The Maroons have made extensive use of their African heritage in building their communities, but this is not to say that their society has become a more or less faithful copy of the West African example. The achievement of these people is that under extremely difficult circumstances, they have developed a new culture, the elements of which are largely African. The structure itself is original. The Maroons are a separate ethnic group in Suriname, which means that they have their own language, traditions, religions, heroes, leaders, and history. They form the second largest ethnic group in Suriname, according to the 2012 census. That is 22% of the total Surinamese population. What does the Maroon society look like? Women picking na gudu. Women picking na gudu. Women are the treasures of the bay. That's how the Njuka look at the woman. Kinship is essential in the social organization of the Maroon community. This matrilineal kinship system took place during the formation of the Maroon groups in the slavery period. The system influences almost the entire life of the tribes. Their mutual relations, settlement patterns, land ownership, and distribution of political and religious functions. The Maroons, as noted earlier, consist of 6 tribes. Each tribe has its own matrilineal structure, which is nevertheless broadly similar to all the tribes. Each tribe is subdivided into a number of matrilineal clans called law. The law includes the descendants of those who collectively fled a certain plantation area during the Maroons period. The law, composed of a number of matrilineals, the bear, whose size is determined by the number of relatives belonging to the same ancestral mother. The members of a bay inhabited the same village. The bay consists of a number of osus. There are 4 groups in the village. The matrilineal king, children of the men from the matrilineal group, young men married to girls of the village, and children born from an interlineal marriage, thus bear with bear. What does traditional authority look like? The oldest political functions that existed before the conclusion of the peace treaties between the colonial authorities and the Maroons in the 18th century were those of Basha and chief. The colonial authorities imposed central leadership on the pacified Maroons and introduced the function of an upper chief called Gamang. So if we look at the traditional authority now, we have the Gamang, the upper chief, then the Edekabiting, the Kabiting, and the Basha. The Gamang has a protocol and representative task. He exclusively regulates relations with the central government in Paramaribo and is in charge of the Gang Koto, the tribal assembly. After he has been chosen by his own people, the Gama is sworn in by the president. In addition to the function of Gama, the traditional authority among the Maroons also includes the functions of Edekabiting, Kabiting, and Basha. In matrilineal succession, the Gama was chosen from a historically determined law. It has a protocol and representative task, as I also earlier mentioned. The Edekabiting represent the Gama in the administrative supervision of a certain village or a number of villages. Kabitings are heads of villages. Basha acts as an assistant to the Gama and the Kabiting. He acts as a jack of all trades. At what level is this governance system applied? It applied at the village level and at the regional level. At the village level, each village has its own board, Lanti, which consists of the Kabitings, the Basha, and Council of Elders. Lanti takes care of both the administration and the arbitration in the village. In fact, each village has a large degree of autonomy. At the regional level, in the peace treaties, each group was assigned a more or less defined residential area within which more definitive settlement patterns were established. The various laws were given rights on certain grounds. The peace treaties recognized the Maroons' own legislation and jurisprudence. Both take place at meetings. These can be held at bay, village, law, and tribe level. The meeting that takes place at the tribal level is the Gang Koto. It consists of the board, Lanti, of all the villages and is chaired by the Gama. The Gang Koto generally takes place in the Gama's residence. It is aimed at consensus and should not give rise to dissension and disputation. The most important decisions have often already been taken during private consultations. During the Gang Koto, which can last for days, the parties regularly withdraw for mutual consultation. The sanctions available to the board in this respect varied from money and corporal staff and exile to punishments of a supranational nature. Traditionally, only more serious crimes such as the death penalty have been left to the central government, which in Greece contact with the coastal area in the second half of the 20th century. This changed. Yes, the second is the Gankutu. As you look at the screen, the second Gankutu at regional level and at the village level, you see a few persons that is, it's about issues on the village, such as fighting. You can at the regional level, you see the Gamang sitting in the middle, in front. What is the role of the Maroon women in this system? The most important role of the Maroon women in the political field is that she provides the successor to the board, the Gamang. The man is chosen according to matrilineal succession principle. This gives her a strong position in the Maroon community. In the past, women could only become basha, but now they can be also captains. According to the Western view, it seems that the decision-making progress among the Maroons is not very gender sensitive. Viewed through Maroon glasses, however, decision-making is largely influenced by the woman's vision. Behind the scenes, women did and do play an important role in decision-making. Those who make decisions hold sessions with older women from the day before making a decision. Sometimes it happens that men temporarily leave the meeting to consult their mother. In Maroon society, it is the tradition that when the Gama is installed, and very earlier also of a kabite, a woman from the family is also installed as Uman Gamang or as Uman Kabite. This is tradition that according to Pakosi was brought from Africa, Ghana. I don't know his state. It is the task and authority of the Uman Gamang to lead, address, and correct the Gamang behind the scenes. It is the men who hold the highest administrative position, but it is the woman in the family who manage the position. In principle, the woman also plays an important role in the appointment of a successor to the Gama, the Kabite, or Basha in the family. That's why women are Beguru. What are the various limitations and challenges this authority system faces? Traditional government is democratic to the extent that the entire community is involved in decision making. According to historian Ben Scholtens, however, the democratic content is affected by the matrilineal succession procedure. Interference by the central government in the succession can lead to conflicts within the law regarding the leadership. In the national legislation of Suriname, the position of the traditional authorities is not recognized in the Constitution. In fact, there is a contradictory situation. On the one hand, the administrative structure of the Maroon is recognized, and on the other hand, this administrative structure is not mentioned in the Constitution. Nowadays, we see that due to developments that confront the Maroon communities and that cannot be stopped, the collectivity is lost. Traditional authorities are often unable to respond to these developments. What are the main lessons that can be drawn from these experiences? This governance system is effective in a fairly closed society. A balance must be found between tradition and development. Children born in this system learn values, norms, dignity. Also, they learn to be proud of who they are. This is a picture of Gamangasong of the Njuka tribe from 1966 to 2011. I will end with a quote. Dengawan fuwi, it is in Okanisi. Dengawan fuwi, bende jajamang anga jaja umang. Means our ancestors were heroes.
Thank you.
Thank you.